Good evening, Mandy. Evening, Amy. I was so surprised today. You and me both. What are the chances one of my old mom friends would be working at my new company? I know, right? I moved here 5 years back when my husband got a transfer at work. But I was really surprised to hear you'd moved to the same city. Oh, really? We moved here because my husband got a transfer at work, too. It doesn't look like our kids will be at the same elementary school, though, since we live in different school districts. Oh, really? I didn't realize. Well, there we have it. Old friends reunited as coworkers. Here's hoping we bring in lots of great results together. Yeah, we got this. Oh, there was one thing. What is it? I'm not part-time. I'm actually a full-time regular employee, and I'm part of the management team. Huh? Actually, I'm your direct superior. Really? Sorry, it's not like I want you to think I'm a hotshot or anything, but I'm obligated to interact with you as I would any of my subordinates, at least while we're at work. There are also differences in what our respective jobs entail. I thought it would be better to get everything out in the open from the get-go so as to avoid any misunderstandings further down the line. Oh, I see. Of course. Silly me, I had the wrong idea. Sorry. No, not at all. You've been at the company way longer than me. It's only natural you'd be a step ahead of me by now. I'm gonna work hard to become a regular employee myself. That's great. You can do it. I mean, you became one after all. And so it should be even easier for me. Right. Anyway, let's get to it. Sure thing. Let's get to work. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Amy. Thanks for your hard work lately. What's up? That project that was being discussed in the meeting today? You and Dave, the section manager of our department, are both going to be on board, right? Am I right in thinking Dave is going to be in charge of it? Yes, that's right. What kind of project is it? Product development. The aim is to break through into new demographics and develop new customer bases by creating products based on concepts completely different to those we've been making until now. Wow, that sounds so interesting. The project only got up and running about a month ago. Ooh, does that mean it's still in its early stages? That's right. The general direction has more or less already been established. We're currently in the preliminary stage, whereby each project member has been tasked with drafting a plan. The first presentations are scheduled to begin as we move into next month, and after that, the most well-researched proposal presentations will be adopted for the project. I see. Hey, Mandy, about this project. Yes? I want to be on board too. Huh? I think you should be the one to ask the section manager for me. That's not really going to be feasible. What? Why? It's not my job to make those kinds of decisions. You mean you won't put in a good word for your best mom friend from back in the day? Not even for old time's sake? I don't think it's appropriate to mix my private affairs with my work life. What? Come on! Besides, I'd have to have some serious clout to bring someone who just joined the company into a project of this magnitude. It's just not realistic. I'm sorry. Huh? Why not? Are you saying I'm not capable of doing a good job? No, that's not what I mean. Your work responsibilities still mostly only entail shadowing and assisting the senior employees. It's just a little, premature, you know? If you can do it, there's no reason I can't too. Look, in any case, there are no plans to bring anyone else on board right now because the project's full up. And even if there were, I don't have the authority to recruit new personnel. I'm afraid I can't do anything for you on this one. Sorry. My husband will be home soon, so I have to head off. Take care, Amy.
Mandy, thank you for your efforts over the last few days. How are things? Is now a good time to talk?
Oh, Dave! Hello, yes, I can talk now. What's up?
I'm sorry to contact you after work like this. I messaged you because there's something I need to ask you about quickly.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm on the train right now, so that's fine, as long as you don't mind if we do it by message. What can I help you with?
Well, I'll just come straight out with it. Did you know that new part-timer, Amy, who joined the company recently, before she joined?
Huh?
She said you were old acquaintances.
Yes. We met 5 years ago before we moved to the city. We both have sons of the same age, so we were kind of like mom friends. It was a total coincidence we met again at the company, though.
Ah, I see. So that was the nature of your relationship.
Even still, it's not like we were best friends, or even particularly familiar, to be honest. It's just that our sons were both in the same class at kindergarten back then. So we talked every now and then while waiting for the kids to get out at the end of the day. Anyway, that's how we met. And we did get along well enough on the occasions we happened to meet each other. I couldn't tell you what she thinks of me, though.
I understand. Thank you.
Did something happen?
Well, to tell you the truth, Amy suddenly proclaimed that she wanted to be a part of our new product development project today.
Huh? You mean she came and spoke with you directly?
That's right. It's not that I have an issue with people being direct and proactive at work. In fact, I admire it. That said, I found the way she asked me a little disagreeable.
The way she asked you?
Mandy's not very good at her job at all, so I think the project would run a lot smoother if you swapped her for me.
What? She said that?
She did. Plus,
What is it?
there is one more thing I'd like to ask you. Am I right in thinking that Amy has a husband?
Yes, she's married. She said the reason she moved here in the first place was because her husband got transferred to a different branch at his company.
I see. Just as I thought.
What happened?
Well, before I tell you, can I trust this conversation will remain strictly between the two of us?
Yes, of course, my lips are sealed. Is everything okay?
What she said is, if you bring me in on this project, I'll go on a date with you. Obviously, I declined straight away. I have a family of my own, after all. What does she take me for?
Yes, of course. I wonder what the hell she's playing at.
And actually, Mandy,
Yes?
I'm due to discuss this matter with the department manager tomorrow morning. If you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate if you joined us.
Me?
You're a member of the same department and an active participant in the project in question. On top of that, you're Amy's direct superior. Given your unique position, we'd like to hear your honest thoughts on the matter.
Mandy! Looks like I might have a shot at joining the project after all. I just knew Dave would have an eye for up-and-coming talent. Good evening, Amy. Yes, I heard all about your conversation. If your draft plan is accepted at the next batch of presentations, you'll be brought on board as an official member of the project team, right? Yeah, that's right. Well, in that case, you'd better get to work on putting together the presentation materials. Oh, well, you see, about that. Could you put my slides together for me? What? Think about it. I'm just a lowly part-timer. It's more appropriate that you, as a full-time regular employee, handle this kind of dreary desk work. I'm sure you understand. Plus, I'm super busy right now with helping the other employees on their assignments. I just can't catch a break. I have to make careful consideration before taking on anything new when I have so many people relying on me. Wait a second. What on earth are you talking about? The only reason you're being considered for the project in the first place is to see what kind of draft plan you can come up with and what kind of presentation you put together. Huh? If you want some extra time to work on your draft, I'm more than open to the possibility of redistributing some of your current assignments. And if there's ever anything you don't understand, you're welcome to come and speak to me at any time. Basically, please put the draft together yourself, okay? Mandy! Who was it who so kindly came over to talk to you when you were all on your own outside kindergarten in our old city? I had plenty of friends back then. But of all of them, you got along with me the best. I was always there for you. I'm not so sure about that. Anyway, you're my boss now, right? Surely the boss is the one ultimately responsible for their subordinates' work. You wouldn't just abandon a valuable member of your team in their hour of need. That doesn't apply to this presentation. Oh, come on. Ugh, just hurry up and get my presentation done. I'll consider it a thank you for everything I did for you back then. That seriously won't be happening. Mandy, you're awful! I can't believe you didn't prepare me a single thing for today's presentation! Not just that, but you didn't tell me the company president would be in attendance either! Do you have any idea how badly you've humiliated me? I got declined for the project! This is all your fault! No, Amy, that's where you're wrong. What? Since you went and told Dave yourself that you wanted to become a member of the project team, he and upper management decided you would be tested and your entry onto the team decided by whether or not you could meet certain conditions. Those conditions included the success of your presentation, including preparation of materials and the subsequent adoption of your proposal. There's not much point in a test if you don't complete it by yourself, is there? But in spite of that, you asked me to put together the presentation materials for you. Why? I already told you, because you owe me from back when we used to be friends. I gave you a chance to pay back your debt of gratitude, and this is how you repay me? Bringing our private lives into the office isn't acceptable. Besides, and I'm sorry to say this, but I don't have any recollection of us being particularly good friends. What? We never even went for tea parties or lunches like I did with the other moms. Huh? You guys went for tea parties and lunches? I only remember speaking to you like 2 or 3 minutes sometimes when we were dropping off or picking up our boys from school. Brief, superficial interactions at best. What? No way! I thought we had a special bond! Anyway, regardless, just because it's looking likely your husband is going to divorce you and take you to court for custody of your son doesn't give you the right to stop doing your job properly. What did you just say? If anything, you should be giving it your absolute best at the office to boost your chances of winning the custody battle. Maybe then you'd have a shot at becoming a regular employee. Your financial situation would stabilize and you'd be looked on favorably by the judge. But more importantly, you would have been better off just not cheating on your husband in the first place. Just you? Hold on a minute. What do you mean? I happened to bump into your husband the other day. He asked me about how you were doing at your new job. After I told him everything that happened at work, he suddenly told me he had also just found out about some other things you'd been doing behind his back. You've been busy, huh, Amy? Oh, that oaf of a man! How is a girl supposed to stay interested in just one man anyway? It's not my fault he's boring. Ugh, actually, whatever, I don't care. Because I have Dave, the section manager. Huh? You do? Well, you see, I made him an offer he just won't be able to refuse. I said if he puts me on the project team, I'll go on a date with him. I might not have made it onto the team at the end due to your unparalleled selfishness. But let's face it, there's no way Dave would turn down a date with me. I'm drop-dead gorgeous, after all. So even on the off chance my husband does divorce me, I'll be absolutely fine, sweetie. Dave isn't the kind of guy to go along with something like that. Maybe not on the surface. But deep down, I'm probably his heart's only desire. Everything that happened with you being tested on the project was Dave's doing. Huh? He went to the department manager as soon as you approached him. He was told, if she's got what it takes, take her on. If not, tell her we're focusing on maintaining the status quo right now, or that we'll consider her in the future. That's why you were granted a test. But don't kid yourself. He's single, right? Surely he won't refuse. Single guys have a thing for other guys' wives, after all. The section manager has a wife and children. What? He dies? You're lying. I haven't heard anything about that. Anyway, I just got done writing and handing in my report about how you tried to make me create the materials for your presentation. No, please, and tell them you made a mistake. Take it back. Please continue this discussion with upper management. Goodbye. In the end, Coda basically lasted 6 months after joining the company. I don't know whether it's because things got difficult for her at work after everyone found out about what she tried to do, but she left a week after our last messages. I heard what happened to her next from her husband. He filed for a divorce immediately after he found out about her affair, and now he has full custody of their son. Her and her lover's relationship has already fallen apart, and apparently she's living with her parents in the countryside for the time being. But her relationship with her parents disintegrated immediately when they found out about her behavior at work. They were gobsmacked. "This isn't how we raised you," they said. Now she lives a solitary existence completely on her own in the next town. Of course, her husband sued her for damages due to her affair. But she struggles to hold down a job due to her difficult personality. And what with the compensation payments, I heard she's seriously struggling to make ends meet. I guess this is what happens when you do and say as you please without any regard for those around you.
Phoebe, it's about time you start listening to me. If you don't start working, I'll be moving in with you and my son. If you don't stop lazing around and getting a job, I won't move in with you. But you can start sending me $750 a month to look after me. I'm not getting any younger, you know. If you don't promise me one way or another, I'll see to it that your wedding to my son Kevin next month gets cancelled. You hear me? Cancelled. So what's it going to be, young lady?
Ugh, are you really harping on about this again? I made this clear before, but it didn't seem to go in. So allow me to repeat myself. You have no right to cancel my wedding. As for sending you money, I've discussed the matter at length with Kevin, and he says I don't have to.
Fine, I'll move in with you both then.
No, you won't. I'm still working just like always.
Huh? I thought you'd been at home this whole time since you got engaged 3 months ago. Basically, you're using the wedding as an opportunity to become a stay-at-home housewife so you never have to work again. You lazy daughter of a garbage man. Don't think you can lie to me, young lady. Your house is a 3-minute walk from mine, so it's very easy for me to check whether you're trying to pull the wool over my eyes.
No, I explained this to you before the engagement too, but once again, it seems like it was in one ear and out the other. I'm a freelancer, which means I can work wherever I like. From home, in a cafe, in a restaurant. I've never had to go into any kind of office, so you wouldn't necessarily see me leave the house. I do sometimes to go meet up with clients from time to time, but the same still applies.
I see. So you're doing perfectly fine for money then, are you? In that case, you're to start sending me $750 a month like I asked. Forget what Kevin says. I'm your mother-in-law, And it's your job as a wife to do as I tell you. My word is final.
Forgive me, I have an online meeting starting soon.
Huh? An online meeting? What's that?
Goodbye.
How dare you ignore the requests of your mother-in-law? It's looking more and more likely that you're going to turn out to be a problem bride. You're going to have to do something about this attitude of yours if you're going to marry my son. This just won't do. Kevin, listen, son. I need to talk to you about something very important. It's about Phoebe. Are you sure she's really the woman you want to marry? You only get to do this once. Are you sure you've really thought it through?
Huh? Mom? Why are you asking me that all of a sudden? Obviously I've thought it through. We're engaged. I love her and want to spend my life with her. Why can't you just be happy for me and accept that?
I'm just worried you might be making the wrong decision, that's all. What kind of mother would I be if I didn't worry about you, Kevin? Even if it comes to divorce, I want you to know that I'll always be here to help you. Find a more suitable wife. Never forget that, honey. Please, won't you just rethink things one last time? Do it for me? It would fill my old heart with joy if you canceled the engagement, son.
Wow. You have got to be freaking joking me. Who actually says that to their own son? No, wait. Wait a sec. You're not bullying my fiancé, are you? Have you said anything to her?
Huh?
Dad and I have warned you countless times by now, but I know how stubborn you can be. You seem convinced she's bad news despite the fact you've barely even spoken to her. Why can't you just give her a chance? In any case, you need to stop acting like this. You better not be saying any of this to her, because that's bullying, plain and simple. I'll never forgive you if I find out you have. And really, Mom, is this the kind of person you want to be?
What are you talking about? The person I want to be? No, Kevin, you're the one who needs to know what kind of person Phoebe is. You need to stop lying to yourself and accept her true colors. If you have until next month's wedding to back out of this, so how about you try and considering yours and this family's reputation for a change and do the right thing? That girl has a black heart. I want you to start paying attention to the way she behaves, the way she spends money, and what she does on a day-to-day basis. You'll be amazed by what you notice if you stop burying your head in the sand.
I see. Sorry, Mom. I have to get back to work now. Catch you later.
2 days before the wedding.
Phoebe, are you cheating on my son? I saw you the day before yesterday. That was no way that was a regular shopping trip with your dressed in that suit.
You're right, it wasn't a shopping trip. I had an in-person meeting with a long-term client who's been giving me work since before I can remember. So, naturally, I wanted to look the part, which is why I wore my suit.
Aha, I've gotcha. You said you worked from home. Caught in a lie. So you're having an affair with your client?
No! He asked me to meet him at his company office, so business wear was the obvious choice. Which is why I went in my suit. Pajamas would have been a little rude, don't you think? Anyway, the point is that it was just a work meeting and nothing more.
But it is the truth, I wonder.
It's the truth. I have another work meeting to attend soon, so if you'll forgive me.
If you're telling the truth, you won't mind proving it, will you? Go on. I'll wait. If you can prove it, I'll believe you. And me and you can forget this ever happened. Well, would you look at that? The fact you still haven't provided me with any proof of this work meeting of yours means you must be cheating on my son. You filthy harlot! I'm having the wedding cancelled, you hear me? Cancelled. I suppose I'd better deliver Kevin the news too. Oh dear, this is gonna crush him. I hope you're proud of yourself, woman. It's a shame I have to do this right before the wedding, but at least we finally got to see your true colors. Phew! Talk about dodging a bullet. Kevin, I have proof Phoebe's cheating on you. You have to cancel the wedding this weekend. Be a darling and call it off as soon as you get this, won't you? They could charge you extra if you leave it too long. I can't believe it. Talk about cutting it close. You were days away from making the worst decision of your life. I'm just so pleased I found out. Even if it was days before the wedding, I know it's gonna be hard on you canceling everything you had planned, but it's better this way. At least now you can take her to court for compensation. That should go some way to ease the burden. Ah, yes, that reminds me. What with the wedding been cancelled now? You won't have any plans this weekend, will you? I think we should go on a holiday to celebrate. How does California sound? I've always wanted to try hot springs there. I hope we're able to find somewhere to stay at such short notice. Don't worry. Of course I'll book yours and your dad's spots too. How long has it been since we all went on a family holiday together? Oh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. Kevin, haven't you arrived at the inn I booked yet? We've had the reservation since yesterday, so I'm worried about you, honey. Why aren't you responding to my texts or answering my calls? The view from the open-air jacuzzi attached to our room is to die for. This place is incredible. I feel like a queen. Ah, there you are. You had me worried sick, young man. What time will you be getting here?
You're free to enjoy the Californian hot springs by yourself.
Huh? What?
I'm in the middle of my wedding right now.
What?
The service at the church just drew to a close, which means we're officially married. We're just about to head to the banquet.
Wait, what? Are you telling me you didn't cancel it like I told you?
Obviously not. I had no reason to do that.
But I told you about Phoebe's affair. Oh, God, did you forgive her?
Affair? You mean that thing about seeing her out in town wearing a suit?
That's right. She tried to pull the wool over our eyes by playing it off as some kind of work meeting, but she was meeting up with her lover. I just know it.
I was with her at that work meeting.
What? You were?
I told you before that we originally met through me being one of her regular clients, right? I'd offer her translation work, which she, being a freelance translator, would accept. Well, my company had a fresh project for her. So it only made sense that I tag along for the meeting to ensure she was fully up to speed on, and understood, the project specifications. Surely you're not going to carry on clinging to this insane affair theory when her own husband is giving her an alibi. Can we just put this to bed already?
What the? But I was certain.
If you're so against our wedding that you go to such ridiculous lengths to try and stop it from going ahead, I'm actually glad you're not here. I have no interest in forcing you to celebrate something you don't feel you can support.
But Kevin...
The banquet's about to start now, and hot damn, the pizza looks delicious. So if you'll kindly excuse me...
Phew! Thank goodness I made it. I wasn't able to have your wedding cancelled due to the affair in the end. But when I realized there was one more reason it shouldn't go ahead, I'm so pleased I got on the first flight home to crash it. I've got you all figured out, Phoebe. The only reason you're interested in marrying my son, Kevin, is because you're after his huge salary, isn't it? The jig is up, young lady. I can read you like a book, so you may as well just admit it and make this easier on yourself. Thank God I made it in time to get to the banquet hall and get up on stage to grab the mic off the host and tell the whole world your true intentions. Everyone sees your true colors now. And we're all disgusted with you. Disgusted.
Listen, Wilma. What exactly gave you the idea that the only reason I'm with your son is because I'm after his money?
You told me you work from home. I made it very clear that if you were working, you had a duty to send me $750 every month to help with my living costs. The fact that you kept stubbornly refusing made it as plain as day that you were poor, even if you have a job. I only had to put 2 and 2 together to realize you had your sights on my poor son's wallet. You can't deny it now. I know everything, and there's nothing I can figure out, because I'm smart, very smart. This was my last chance to save my son's future before any hope he had at happiness was destroyed forever. I did what I had to do and exposed your true colors to the world at your wedding banquet. You hate me. But if you search deep in your heart, you'll know this is what's best for Kevin. I might have been thrown out by security, but I did what I came to do. So what happened after that? Surely the wedding got called off. When everyone heard what you're really like.
I see. You're right. I'm pleased. With this, we can finally divorce now. Thanks for giving me a concrete reason to go through with the divorce. I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Huh? Putting on a bold font, are we?
No, that's what your husband just told me to tell you. He stood right next to me.
Huh? My husband? What?
We finished the banquet as planned after you left. The food was delicious and everyone had a great time. Your little interruption actually made it more memorable in a sense. Me and Kevin have no intention of divorcing.
No, you have to be joking me. Why am I the one getting divorced here? Kevin, how could you stand by and watch while this happens to your poor mother? You're horrible. I've been telling you how awful that girl Phoebe is for what feels like forever now, but you never listened to me, not even once. Is this what I get for giving birth to you, for raising you?
Your accusations were all nonsense! Just like everything else you said about my wife.
Nonsense?
I've already explained why this supposed affair is a load of rubbish. So I'm not going to go out of my way to explain it again if you don't understand by now. But the idea that she only married me simply because she wants my money is pure fantasy. Plain and simple. It's honestly the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my whole life.
Which part is fantasy?
Phoebe makes $150,000 a year.
150K?
Basically, she brings in 4 times as much money as me.
4 times?
I won't go into too much detail, because she probably wouldn't want me revealing her private work details. But she's one of the top performers in the translation industry, and is hugely popular with a lot of very influential people. To put it simply, she's the best at what she does.
If she's that rich, why did she always refuse to send me money?
You were already in the wrong at the point you decided to beg my wife for money.
What?
I mean, seriously, who pesters their son's wife for money? Who actually does that? Have you no shame? Let's face it, the only reason you were so intent on her being the devil and so committed to destroying her reputation is because she had the guts to say no to your absurd demands.
But...
No buts! I'm cutting you out of my life once and for all!
What? No, please!
To tell you the truth, we already moved house.
You moved house? Where to? Tell me your address at once. This can't be happening. Please, son, don't do this to your poor aged old mother. I can't get by without you. Won't you reconsider? Besides, did you only just move right before the wedding? It was only a 3-minute walk from my house. The location was perfect. It's barely been half a year since you moved in. Why would you leave already?
That was just an apartment Phoebe had been renting since before we met. I was only staying there with her temporarily, until we found somewhere new to start our married life in.
Oh my goodness.
It was only down to a coincidence that she happened to have an apartment near your house in the first place. Funnily enough, it was actually where we got onto the topic of how close together our houses were, after linking up for a work meeting one day, that we started discussing our private lives and grew closer.
But I only started seeing her around town around the time you two got engaged.
That's probably just because you didn't know her before then. You were hardly going to recognize a stranger, were you? I bet you walked past each other dozens of times. It was the same for me, too.
Really? Could it be?
Looks like we went off topic. To get back to the point, I'm cutting you out of my life forever, Mom! I'm not going to tell you where we live. And I'll be taking every last possible measure to ensure you never find our address.
Wait, please! Your father seems ready to divorce me, Kevin. I can't bear to lose you too. Please, don't do this to your poor aged mother.
It's not that Dad seems ready to divorce you. He absolutely, beyond any shadow of a doubt, is going to divorce you. With 100% certainty. He literally could not be more committed to getting rid of you. It's not for me to get involved in that. So just make sure you do what his lawyer says.
Kevin!
If you'll excuse me, Phoebe and I are going out for a meal.
Wait, no! Please, don't leave me, son! I'm begging you!
I'm blocking you.
Apparently, my mother-in-law had always been prone to making preposterous misunderstandings. You might be wondering why her husband would marry someone like that in the first place. But Kevin said she'd always made lighthearted, self-deprecating remarks about her crazy side, which probably caused him to drop his guard. To everyone's surprise, she actually admitted fault after the divorce had been finalized. I'm sorry I've caused you so many problems. So with that, Wilma was officially a divorcee. She'd been a stay-at-home housewife until then, which meant things got a heck of a lot tougher for her after being abandoned by her husband and son. Now she had to support herself. She burned through the alimony money she got in the divorce in a heartbeat, and before long was staying with her little brother and his wife as their live-in parasite. Within a week, she started bullying his wife, but her little brother found out almost immediately, and with that, she was back out on the streets. Due to her total lack of work history, the best job she could find was in a supermarket, and her salary is about as low as it could possibly be. Last I heard, she was living in a store cupboard at work. Something tells me that personality of hers is gonna see to it that she remains lonely and isolated until long after she retires.